I probably know what you are thinking right now. If you take a quick look at Wing Commander 3, at first glance, this game looks like a very basic old-school space shooter, which you would dismiss straight away as the graphics are dated, the videos are pixelated, and it doesn't look very attractive at all. To be honest, I had the same feelings before I started to play it, but I wanted to play and experience it anyway, as I heard that this is a game with good story, and if the story is good and engaging, I don't mind the old-school graphics. As it turned out, there are so much depth in this game that you would not even think of. Yes, the game shows its age here and there, and also there is one major thing which would raise the question, is this game even playable today? Well, in this video we are going to find out. Buckle up, as I'm going to take you into the middle of a huge galactic war. Hello fellow gamers out there, my name is Mr. Zosta, welcome on my channel where I review great old games. To be honest, I wanted to start with the first two Wing Commander games, as I wanted to experience the story from the beginning, but I could not run the first two games very well on my computer, so I jumped straight away into the third game. Wing Commander 3 has been released in 1994 for DOS and Macintosh, in 95 to 3DO and in 96 to PlayStation. The game had a massive improvement in graphics compared to the first two games, as from animated cutscenes to full motion video. This was the first computer game with this feature. It was marketed as the world's first interactive movie. It pioneered the use of CGI backgrounds and green screen work, with all sets added digitally during post-production. These movie scenes consumed a lot of data storage, therefore the game has been released on 4 CD-ROMs. Can you guess how much was the budget of this game? $4 million in 1994, Jesus Christ! Let's talk about the story of the game without any spoilers. In a nutshell, there is an ongoing intergalactic war between the Human Confederation and the Kirati Empire. They are the lion-like creatures who are somehow speaking English with a lion roar accent. It's very funny actually. The game starts with a quiet set scene. The Crown Prince of Kirati Empire is attending the execution of a group of Confederation POVs. However, one of them is left alive, Colonel Janet aka Angel, as she is a respected warrior among the Kirati. In the next scene, we can see the planet Vespus, where Christopher Blair and Brigadier General James Taggart inspect the downed wreckage of the TCS Concordia. The carrier is a total loss. It is the year of 2669, and the Terran-Kirati war has been going for over 30 years with no signs of stopping. Meanwhile, Blair, the main character of the game, is transferred by the orders of Admiral Geoffrey Tolwyn as Wing Commander to the TCS Victory, a Ranger-class carrier ship. The captain, William Eisen, has been assigned to the ship for a long time, and it seems that he's proud of it. The Victory, a recommissioned carrier twice as old as Blair, is currently stationing in the Orzini system, far away from the front. However, it does not mean that everything is peaceful here. As you arrive to the ship, you are going to meet your old friend and wingman Hobbs, the Kirati defector. He's assisting the team on the Victory and plays a main role in the story. What I really enjoyed in the game is a large number of branching conversations. There are situations where you must choose what answer you will give. The choices you may make will affect the other person's attitude towards you, or even the morale of the entire crew. I really enjoyed this part, as it felt that I had a choice how to run the show and really be the colonel of my crew. If you like to roleplay a bit and imagine yourself into the shoes of the colonel, you are going to enjoy leading your crew, have conversations with them. It feels much different than a pre-made storyline. The acting is good, it does not feel cheap or cheesy, it definitely has a 90s vibe, especially with the flirting scenes when some crew members are flirting with you. I know what we are thinking of here. Can you actually flirt or kiss one of the girls? Well, as I said, I'm not spoiling anything here. Between missions, you can move around freely on the 3 decks of the Victory, the bridge, the living and the bay levels. You can strike up conversations, check out the bar, watch the news regarding the war. This gives a feeling of freedom to engage with the events on the ship. If you would not have this option, just mission brief after mission brief, the game would feel much more shallow. The good thing is that these events are quite quick, so it never feels like a burden to do. If you fail a mission, you have 2 options: to replay the level or to watch your own funeral. This sounds a bit morbid, but let's watch it together, as this is another part where the acting is very good. You can see the captain is shaken while he's delivering his speech, and also your former crew members too, even those members who were a bit of dick before. So, your coffin is being launched into space, and as the Confederation has lost his best pilot, humankind is basically fucked. Well, look at the ladies, they are shaking when the shoots are fired. At the beginning of the game, you start with easy basic patrol missions, which are good to get familiar with the controls and the flying. As you would expect, the missions will be more and more difficult as you progress through the game. But before you jump into a ship and just fly out, you must plan which ship you are going to use and also the loadout as well. It is important to pay attention to the mission briefing, as you will get important information which will help to prepare for your mission. If you use the wrong ship or loadout, you are going to have a much more difficult time out there. Basically, there are 4 mission types in the game. In basic patrol, you fly to a nav point, clear it of any enemies, and then proceed to the next nav point. These missions require a dogfighter ship, which is well balanced in agility, firepower, and shields. In the escort and interception missions, you are defending a capital ship or a planet, and you must make sure that an enemy does not destroy them. This includes shooting down any cruise missiles that the Kirati launch. You will definitely need a fast ship in order to catch any threat before they get too close to the ship you are defending. There's also the Space Strike mission, where you have to destroy a capital ship. Here, you need a fighter ship with torpedoes and good shields. And at last, but not least, the Planetary Strike. Here you have to fight on the surface of the planet. There is only one fighter capable of surface strike, which is the Excalibur. When I first started to play Wing Commander 3, I did not make much research about the game. This was my first mistake. I read parts of the manual which describe the controls, the different communication methods in space, and the various parts of my ship main display. I thought that this would be enough. Well, as I made progress with the missions, I thought that I am doing quite well. I was at the 4th mission probably, when the game instructed me to insert disc 4. What? Insert disc 4? I was still at the very first disc, so this was unexpected. Well, I thought that maybe I'm jumping to a different system for a mission, which is on the 4th disc, so whatever. Well, I went to the next mission. There is something really strange happened. I had a pretty bad ending without when the credits were rolling. I sat there and literally said it out loud. What the fork is this? The game cannot be over already. I have not even touched the 2nd and the 3rd disc. So I reloaded my save game, did the mission again, but I had the same results. This was the point where I started to read walkthroughs and found out that the game has branching missions. Basically, the story depends how you handle the mission. If you did well, it goes on the positive branch until the end game. But if you fail, the story goes on a side branch towards the bad ending. However, if you win a few missions there, you still have a chance to correct the errors and get back on the right track. I like this concept, it adds a bit of variety to the game. An important part of the game is your crew, your wingmans. At my first attempt on the game, I had a few favorite ones that I chose and I completely ignored the rest of them. As it turned out, this was a mistake, as if you not use all of your wingmans throughout the game, their skills and abilities are not going to be improved. However, you cannot check these like you would in an RPG, it just happens. Also, what makes these crew more alive is that they have their own personalities, and this is reflected how they fly and fight. Some of them are more hot-headed, some of them are more disciplined, and this could be a disadvantage in your tactics. Before you take off from the victory, you must choose your ship and the loadout. This is very important, as choosing the correct ship and weapons are crucial for winning a mission. This is definitely not your everyday arcade space shooter where you just hold the fire button and keep shooting. You must think about your tactics, your strategy, how you are going to approach the enemy, who you are going to shoot first and with which missile. You also have to play with the power distribution of your ship. What I did, I reduced the engine power and the damage repair module power level and added most of the power to the weapons and for the shields. This worked for me almost all the time, but you can modify these anytime, but it is better to do so before taking off. While you're at combat, you can look on your enemies, fire them with your guns or with your various missiles. It is important to know which missile is good for which enemy. The game manual or walkthrough will help you out here. While you are flying, you can communicate with anyone in space, even with the enemy. You can taunt them to level on an object which you have to protect. You can ask the status of the friendly units and give orders to your wingman. These are important as it can make a big difference in your tactics. You can send your wingman to attack and discharge the small fighter ships while you are flying towards a corvette or something bigger what you need to destroy. You can also ask them to help you out, send them back to the victory. There are a lot of things going on while you are flying, and this feels like you are really a commander here, where you have an impact what is going to happen. At the intro, I mentioned that there is one thing in the game which could ruin the whole experience, especially in the PlayStation version which I played. The controls. There is no analog control here. Okay, to be fair, the first DualShock analog controller has been released in 1997, a year after the release of the game, so the developers could not even make an analog control option into the game. Well, this made things a bit clunky. Despite not having analog controls, I used the analog sticks anyway, as using the D-pad would be a real pain. So despite this issue, I not had any frustrations or rage quits while I was playing. Of course you can notice it here and there, but overall it was okay. If you play the PC version and you have a joystick or a controller, you are not going to have this issue. So let's see what are those things that I did not like in the game. A minor but a bit annoying thing is that you do not have a load game screen straight away. You have to start a new game, go to the flight control area, activate the main terminal, enter your call sign, and then you are able to load the game. Also, the cursor moves way too fast on the screen. I literally stopped using it because luckily if you press the triangle button, the cursor jumps between the various options on the screen. Otherwise, moving the cursor would be rage-inducing part of the game. Let me show you a short video which was annoyed the hell out of me. So, when you finish a mission, this girl comes and compliments to you. Luckily you can skip this, but it was so annoying to watch the same thing over and over again. At least they should shoot 2 or 3 different versions of it. The thing is that you only know if the mission was a success if you see this video, but it's still annoying. I could mention the graphics or the video quality, but we are talking about a 30-year-old game here. And to be honest, the graphics are not that bad. I got used to it, and when I started to enjoy the story, I did not really care about how the game looks. There is nothing in the graphics which would make the gameplay difficult. You can see and find everything you need. So what are those which I really enjoyed in the game? First of all, the story. If you've seen my other game reviews, I always say that I don't care how a game looks if I enjoy the story or the gameplay. I don't want to play a beautiful game with a bad story or with the gameplay that I do not enjoy. I think you and I can agree with this. And the story is good, there are some unexpected twists, the acting is also good. The branching conversations are really a good positive aspect of the game. They add a lot to the experience as you can make decisions how to approach a conversation. This can be much more interesting than a predetermined story. I also enjoy the details which makes the gameplay much more deeper than an arcade shooter. You have to plan your strategy, which ship, which loadout, and also which wingman you are going to use. How you give commands to your wingman, how to use tactics to fly together. All these are making the game a real Space Force simulation. There are many other better space simulation games out there, that's sure. However, Wing Commander is a special game which had a huge impact 30 years ago when it had been released. If you'd like to experience a great story combined with leading your crew, planning tactics and strategy, you are probably going to enjoy Wing Commander 3. It is definitely shows its age, but we are talking about a game which is 3 decades old. If you can play the PC version with analog controllers, there is no major thing which would make your experience bad. But the PlayStation version is also playable. I played it, and then the lack of analog controls was a downside, but I still had fun with the game, and I will definitely play the next game in the series.